Welcome back to Sous-vide Everything, guys. Today I am making Mongolian beef. And if you've never had it, and if you had no idea what I'm talking about, hang around because you're definitely gonna wanna make this one. Check it out.
And this is Mongolian beef. It is a classic in almost every single Chinese restaurant in the US. And man, is it good. And I'm gonna show you my take on it, and here's how. Usually Mongolian beef is made with flank steak, but for today I'm going to be using this skirt steak, which I believe is a lot better than flank. And as you can see, it is a perfectly well marbled steak. Now the first thing we need to do is to cut it, and it is extremely important that you always cut this type of steak against the grain. So I found that the easiest way to do it is to stack them up like this and just go to town. Because once I was done, you can see that every single one of them is the same exact size. As you are slicing, you are actually making each individual fiber much smaller, which makes a much tender steak. And that is exactly what you're looking for. To give you an even better look, check it out. You see how the fibers are actually separating between them? That is how you can tell it's gonna be a nice tender steak. Believe it or not, the next thing to do is not to season them. There's actually no seasoning these steaks at all because everything is all about the sauce. But if there's one thing that Mongolian beef is actually known for, is a crust. And for that, everyone I know uses cornstarch. This allows the meat to get nice and crispy. And to make sure I put a nice even coat, I like to use a strainer. And as you can see, it distributes a nice small amount without any clumping. And as always, just like seasoning, I like to do both sides. Now mix everything well and let the cornstarch do its job and let it sit for at least 30 minutes. That is perfect because it allows us time to jump into our sauce. And this sauce is super easy to make. Remember, exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. I first started with a good amount of soy sauce, followed by beef broth, hoisin sauce, a tiny pinch of sesame oil, and a good amount of brown sugar. Now mix it well and let those flavors get together because it's time to jump into our beef. And the first thing we need to do is to fry them up. So make sure you get that oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and start the frying process. You gotta keep in mind that the last thing you wanna do is to overcrowd the pan. As soon as you see a little bit of the steak juices coming up, you gotta flip them to the other side. The whole goal is to give them a nice crust without overcooking them. And I'll tell you one thing, for safety, I definitely recommend you using gloves and a chopstick. Because it does not matter what you do, when fat hits oil, it will actually splatter on you. And as always, safety is the #1 priority. Shout out to all Russian crazy hacker fans. Once I was done, you can see that every single one of them have a nice crust. Now the only thing left to do is to finish off our sauce. So for that, in a new pan, I threw in a little bit of oil, followed by some shallots, a little bit of garlic, ginger, and hot chili flakes. Mix it well and let it cook it under low heat. As soon as you start getting a little bit of color, it's time to throw in the sauce mix. You want to let it simmer on the medium-low heat until it reduces to half. Because once that's done, it's time to throw back in our beef. Keep it on the medium-low heat to reduce the sauce and keep stirring it so that it does not burn. Remember, this sauce is quite sweet, so you definitely do not want to use high heat. Let the sauce reduce until it's nice and thick because by that time, your Mongolian beef is done. If there's one thing Mongolian beef was made for, is to be paired up with rice. And usually there's a good amount of green onions, but for me, I like to use chives way better. That, my friends, is Mongolian beef. And I'll tell you one thing, it is easy to make, but it's also very tasty. But now it's time to move on to the sous-vide version. And for that, I'll be using this beautiful prime New York strip. As you can see, it is 1.5 inches thick and it's the perfect size for sous-vide. Now the biggest advantage that we're going to be having over the traditional version is that we will be able to cook this one medium rare. At the same time, we will be seasoning it first, so I'm expecting this one to be a lot more flavorful. Talking about seasoning, I like to transfer it to a steak sizzling plate so that I don't lose any of my seasoning. And I started with a little bit of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder, nothing else. And as always, make sure you season both sides, including the edges. But now that we have our steak perfectly seasoned, all there's left to do is to bag it up and get it ready for the water bath. Keep in mind that I'm going to be using the same exact sauce as the traditional one. But it is now time to cook this beautiful steak, and for that I'll be setting my water bath at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. That should give me a perfect medium rare steak.
Let's be honest, the traditional version of making Mongolian beef is actually very easy to make, but at the same time, I am wondering how the sous vide is gonna be, because the Mongolian beef, that sauce is phenomenal, everybody. It is absolutely phenomenal. Now here's the deal. The steak is ready, we are hungry, and it's time to take it out. Let's do it. If there's one thing that put a smile on my face is that as soon as that steak comes out of the bag and I lay it down, I know it's gonna be something special, everybody. I'm telling you, just because of the smell, it is wonderful. I know my steak doesn't look that good right now, but watch this. All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful rice and steak today, Mama.
Smells amazing.
I know, the smell
so good.
always gets to me, everybody. I'm not kidding when I tell you, it smells fantastic. You heard it from my mouth. So, we have today Mongolian beef.
I know.
You know?
I can smell it.
Smell kind of sweet, kind of savory. Okay, so here's the deal. Obviously, we have the traditional version over here, and then we have the sous-vide version over here.
Is this one the one from P.F. Chang?
Kind of similar, yeah, kind of very similar. So let me serve you over here, because this thing here is supposed to be for one portion only, but I want some, all right? Huh? All right, Mongolian beef, Mamazi. You like Mongolian beef?
I love Mongolian beef.
I know, right?
That's what I get from Chinese. Any Chinese place that I go, that's what I get.
That's what you get? It's fantastic. Okay, let's give this a try. You ready for it?
Let's do it.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
A little sweet, a little savory,
Wow.
a little goodness,
You
a
got
little
this.
amazing, huh?
You got this. Wow.
That's amazing, everybody.
Wow, the sauce on this is on point.
I know, right? Good, thank you, Mama. It's so easy to make. It's too easy, everybody.
Wow.
It is very easy. Now, the steak, I don't know if you can tell, has a little bit of crunchiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like when you have the Chinese place, and just like you said it.
It's just like a Chinese place.
Yeah, when you take, Chinese takeout, or if you go to P.F. Chang, very, very similar, everybody.
A good Mongolian beef, this is gonna top it. All right, the sauce is perfect. I don't know how to say it. Sometimes you get a little salty, sometimes you get a little too sweet. This is just there, just on the...
100% agree. Nothing more to say, everybody. It is absolutely fantastic. It is the way... You okay, Mama?
Did you do like lime zest on top of it?
A little bit of lime zest. No, it's the sauce.
Really?
Yeah, the sauce. It has a little...
I could swear I could taste lemon on my mouth right now.
There's no lemon.
Wow.
It's a little tangy. It's a
yeah,
little...
it's a little tangy, but I could swear I tasted
No
lemon.
no lime at all. Okay, that one is amazing. I'm very curious to find out how this one is gonna stand up to the original.
If you guys don't know what to do tonight for dinner, do that.
Yeah, it's so easy. 5 minutes. No longer than that. All right, here you go for you. You're right, Mama.
My mouth is just drooling over here. Like I want to go back and jump on the other one when I get ready for it.
But this one here, perfectly... Oh, I can't wait to try this one. You ready for it?
All right, let's do this.
Mama's going for a big bite.
Yes.
All right, let's go for it. Cheers, everybody. That is another level.
Wow. You outdone yourself this time.
This one is a whole different level.
Oh my God.
The steak is phenomenal. Seasoning the steak before sous vide goes all the way through, and then you combine it with the sauce. It's amazing, everybody.
It's ridiculous. Like the steak is so juicy.
Yeah.
And then you bite on it, it comes out the juice from the steak and it mixes with the sauce. And then it combines with the rice on top of it.
It's phenomenal.
It's amazing.
There's a huge difference, and the reason is because the steak is very, very juicy. Even though there's a nice crust, there is no like crunchiness.
Yes.
It's just nice and soft. And every time you take a bite, you get that regular sous vide steak flavor where you're biting it. Then you get the sauce, and then you get a little bit of the rice. Come on, to me at least, it's a clear winner. What do you think, Mama?
No, it's above and beyond.
Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Damn, that's good.